All right, so moving on to the next segment, we're going to pivot here to the world of wrestling inside the WWE world. And this next segment, I'll be sharing my WWE Wrestlemania Night 1 summary. So, WrestleMania Night 1 is in the rearview mirror as we move forward to WrestleMania Night 2 for tonight as I record this segment. But I'll be going over the entire card here. So, starting off with the opener, you had Jey Uso defeat Gunther to become the new World Heavyweight Champion to kick off WrestleMania weekend this year. Now, a lot of people on the internet are going to tweet, they're going to complain about Jey Uso becoming main event Jey Uso, living up to his name and becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion, defeating Gunther. Now, personally, I thought this match was a solid match. Look, you got to watch the match for yourself and not base it off of anybody else's opinions. I thought it was a good match, a good opener. It was a great underdog story of Jey Uso fighting adversity, trying to overcome Gunther. Gunther, a wrestler that has defeated Jey Uso in the past 3-0 until last night. But it was a physical match. These guys were getting physical with each other. Hard-hitting affair. I felt like as the match went on, Jey Uso was having a callback to what Roman Reigns did when he main evented his first WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar for the WWE title at WrestleMania 31, laughing as he sustained the punishment that Brock Lesnar was giving him. That's how you saw Jey Uso sustain the punishment, laughing as Gunther continued to beat the hell out of him pillar to post. But at the end, it was Jey Uso winning the World Heavyweight title. Again, I thought it was a solid match, and the finish, in my opinion, was not that bad as people think it is. Jey Uso hitting a spear. I believe he hit Gunther's finishing powerbomb, followed with 3 Uso splashes, then put Gunther to sleep, or didn't put him to sleep, but he made him submit, and in Gunther's own sleeper hold. And for anybody that complains about the finish, do you guys not remember Gunther when he officially lost his first WWE match, where Ilya Dragunov defeated him with the same sleeper move and made Gunther tap out in 3 to 5 seconds? What was the complaints on Twitter then? Jey Uso literally just did the same finish to Gunther at main event, not in the main event, but at WrestleMania Night 1. So again, don't tweet, don't complain. Jey Uso is finally a world champion. Isn't that what we want to see? New stars being established in the WWE? Let it go. Let it go, complainers on Twitter/X. Tweet later, because I don't know how long this World Heavyweight Championship reign is going to last for Jey Uso, but let it ride out at least. It could only last 48 hours or shorter, or not shorter, but possibly 48 hours, because we don't know what the Raw after WrestleMania truly holds for a wrestler that turned heel last night, which I'll get into as this segment goes on. But hey, let it ride out. We'll see what Jey Uso has up his sleeve, being the new World Heavyweight Champion on the Monday Night Raw roster. So the next match, you had the New Day defeat the War Raiders to become the new World Tag Team Champions. I thought it was a good tag team wrestling match, but this did not live up to the WrestleMania type of feel, big fight feel that we see for Mania matches. Truthfully, this felt like a TV match on Raw or a smaller PLE. And it's a shame because the SmackDown Tag Team division, you could have easily had that TLC match that they're lined up for next week on Friday Night SmackDown, have a WrestleMania slot last night, which probably would have saved the production overall of WrestleMania Night 1. So, mistake by Triple H and the WWE executives letting the Raw Tag Team division get a match on the Mania card this year instead of the SmackDown Tag Team division. But don't get me wrong, there were some good tag team moves, some good spots here. Both teams tried their best. All 4 competitors tried to make this the best that they could, but why was this a Mania match without Big E being a part of the match? Big E, when is he going to play another, or how is he going to be another piece of this New Day heel story if he's never going to be involved again? I'm not asking him to return to the wrestling ring, but damn it, if he's around in the company, in an active role right now, you could have either had Big E cost the New Day of winning the World Tag Team titles last night at WrestleMania, or you could have had Big E assist Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods to help them win the World Tag Team titles, for him to be a heel manager and help the New Day go on this new heel run as 13-time World Tag Team champions in the WWE. So the fact that Big E was not a part of this match is upsetting. And if he wasn't going to be a part of this match of Raw, you should have gave this Blue Brand of Friday Night SmackDown, their tag team division, to shine on this Mania card instead of the Raw tag team division. So let down, but New Day become the new World Tag Team champions. Next match, You had Jade Cargill defeat Naomi. I thought this was a good match. I thought this was good showing of what Jade Cargill can really be truly made of as a singles competitor in the WWE. She just needs to be pushed by the best woman out there. Some veteran wrestlers that could push her to the next level. And I would have had Naomi go over here because I think she's been tremendous as this heel run. WWE better not fumble how Naomi is coming as a heel right now. But overall, this was a really good match. At times, you could tell the inexperience was starting to kick in for Jade Cargill. I mean, she's never competed in front of 60,000+ fans at a big stage by herself at WrestleMania. So the inexperience showed, but that's okay. She's only had a handful of singles matches since joining the WWE. But Naomi helped her out here. That's what a veteran wrestler does, or that's what they should do, working with these younger, talented stars. So in the future, Jade Cargill could possibly pass the favor to a new upcoming rising star in the women's division, with her being a veteran one day in the WWE. But I think they really benefited working together. This was a really good match that had a lot of reversals, displayed Jade Cargill's power and her athleticism, followed by Naomi's experience in the ring, her ring style. So I like the finishing sequences of the match, how Jade Cargill had Naomi on her neck, and then she transitioned her over, plopped her down with a vicious powerbomb. I thought Naomi broke her damn neck. But then Jade Cargill picked her up, put her away with the finish. I would like to see this feud continue. I feel like there's unfinished business here with these two women possibly being on the same brand with the draft coming up probably soon. I would like to see this feud continue. Next match, have a stipulation and keep this feud going. I like the direction that it was going for just one match, but Jade Cargill defeating Naomi didn't rub me the wrong way. I like the match, and I'm not mad with Jade Cargill going over here. So I thought this was an overall great match. Next match, you had Jacob Fatu defeat LA Knight to become the new United States champion. Now, Jacob Fatu and LA Knight have some good in-ring chemistry. They worked well together. I thought the flow and the pace of the match was pretty good. There were some great spots here in the match. LA Knight, they were both him and Jacob Fatu were on the ropes, the top rope. I don't know if there was a reverse suplex that LA Knight hit on Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu hit a picture-perfect swanton bomb off the top rope on LA Knight. Looked like he was paying homage to Jeff Hardy. I know that's already in his ring repertoire and skill set, but damn, I thought I was watching a bigger Jeff Hardy hit that move last night off the top rope. But I also like the BFT that LA Knight hit on Jacob Fatu, that he hit him in midair where Jacob Fatu was coming off the top rope, and LA Knight caught him with a picture-perfect BFT in midair with that near-fall finish. Jacob Fatu putting the match away with some picture-perfect moonsaults. Honestly, I was surprised that Jacob Fatu, for this match, he won this match clean. Now, I understand that the WWE has booked him very well since joining the company, but with no outside help of Solo Sikoa or Tama Tonga, I was kind of surprised here. But I do believe that Jacob Fatu is going to break away from this Bloodline 2.0 and be his own man, and that will set up a feud between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa for the United States title on the Blue brand of Friday Night SmackDown for the future. Meanwhile, for LA Knight, two-time United States champion, has did good in the mid-card scene, but let's bump this man back up to the main event scene. He's a sleeper pick for me to win the Money in the Bank ladder match this year. But as I digress, Jacob Fatu getting the win over LA Knight was expected, and he's now the new United States champion. Next match, you had El Grande Americano, a.k.a. Chad Gable, defeat Rey Fenix. Now, shout out to Rey Fenix for stepping up on the 24 hours notice, because originally this was supposed to be El Americano versus Rey Mysterio, but Rey Mysterio got injured in a six-man tag team match the night before on Friday Night SmackDown, unable to go for the duration of the six-man tag team match. If you guys watched it, towards the end of the match, he had to sit out and was actually signaling and telling Dragon Lee what moves to hit and how this match was going to be the finish. And he couldn't walk out his own power on the close out that match. So Rey Fenix stepped up. And what a big spot for Rey Fenix. I mean, Rey Fenix just debuted on the WWE not even a month ago, and he got his first WrestleMania match. So shout out to him and his older brother Penta, who will be focused on night 2. The WWE prioritizing lucha wrestling. I definitely like that. And shout out to the WWE as well for purchasing AAA, a lucha wrestling promotion. I think that's going to be big. I'll say that for a different day. But I like the fact that Chad Gable has this persona of El Americano wrestling in a lucha style. It actually low-key fits him for somebody that can wrestle in any type of style. But El Americano and Rey Fenix, they had a good match. I like the pace of the match. El Americano hit, I don't know how he hit that, but Steiner math, I guess it was a 450 splash that he hit on Rey Fenix off the top. That was perfect, man. That was a perfect 450 splash. But the ending of the match was the metal plate. El Americano, aka Chad Gable, puts a plate in his eye to help him win matches against luchadors. It's a metal plate that the WWE actually make it believe that he's cheating in matches and using a metal plate to hurt his opponents. You saw that where Rey Fenix hit a kick off the ropes onto El Americano, but he had the plate on, so it injured his foot/ankle. And then Rey Fenix going off the top rope and ended up running into a headbutt that El Americano hit on him. And that was basically all she wrote. I mean, El Americano put the match away after that, but I like the direction that he possibly could have as a character, and I think he has a great future as a luchador in the WWE El Americano. So good to see Chad Gable finally win a WrestleMania match. Now in the co-main event, you had Tiffany Stratton successfully retain her women's world title against Charlotte Flair. I honestly have some mixed emotions about this match. I don't know how to really feel about it. I thought it was good. But then I think about it, what were they really doing in there? I mean, the match was good, don't get me wrong. I give it a 7 out of 10 rating. But Charlotte is like a Kurt Angle and Mania matches. All hits, no misses. Look at her resume as she's built. She is the Mrs. WrestleMania of the women's division right now in WWE. But this match gave veteran versus rookie vibes. I mean, Tiffany Stratton has obviously been established in NXT and at the main roster. And this was her first Mania match. But it's a tall task to go in there against one of the greatest women of all time in Charlotte Flair in your first Mania match. But I thought she did pretty good. Charlotte Flair was controlling the pace of the match with counters and reversals. And that was a big play of the match. Tiffany overcame some adversity, and she never quit. That was the story of the match as the storytelling went on. And the craziest thing was, as this match went on, when these women didn't know what to do, they were just beating the shit out of each other. And you could tell towards the end of the match, I don't know if you guys out there watching, listening, noticed, but Tiffany Stratton had a chipped tooth. I definitely could tell that was an after effect of what her and Charlotte Flair do. They were actually hitting the shit out of each other, like I just said. So Tiffany, like I said, might have chipped her front tooth. Several near falls in the match. Natural selection from off the top rope was a great spot that I liked. But the finishing sequences of the match were good. In the end, it was Tiffany Stratton going over on Charlotte Flair. But yeah, I don't know if this feud will continue because I could obviously tell these two women do not like each other. We'll see. But if this is the end of the feud, in my opinion, I think it's disappointing because this was a dream feud for Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair for the women's division all these years. But it just ends here. Kind of a letdown for the women's division. But nonetheless, Tiffany Stratton retained. Whoo! And in the main event, you saw Seth Rollins defeat Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins defeat Roman Reigns and CM Punk in a triple threat match. Truthfully, this was an absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. One of the greatest triple threat matches of all time, and one of the greatest triple threat matches in WrestleMania history. I'm going to be the one to say it. That's how phenomenal that triple threat match was between Rollins, Reigns, and Punk last night, night one of WrestleMania. I mean, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns have some great in-ring chemistry. Roman Reigns trying to hit the spear, and in real time, Seth Rollins caught him in midair and hit the pedigree on him. I thought that was a good spot. Roman Reigns surviving several curve stomps and several GTS moves delivered by Rollins and Punk during the match. Roman Reigns was close to helping Seth Rollins deliver a shield powerbomb on CM Punk through the announce table. Roman Reigns crashed the hell out. Powerbomb CM Punk through the American announce table and sent Seth Rollins crashing through the Spanish announce table. I mean, when I was watching the match, I thought it was like a crunch, like someone was eating Doritos and chips. That's how Seth Rollins' back was driven through that Spanish announce table. But there were some great spots in this match. And Roman Reigns, the sequences of what these three respective wrestlers did was phenomenal. But in the end, it was Paul Heyman selling his soul to Seth freaking Rollins. And I like the finish of the match. With Paul Heyman turning on CM Punk, looking like he was going to line himself with Roman Reigns, then turning his back on Roman Reigns and joining Seth Rollins. And I predicted it. I knew it was going to happen. Because Paul Heyman, what does he do? He always weasels himself to the top of the food chain to align himself with the main event star. Seth freaking Rollins, the visionary, a revolutionary, has now revolutionized himself to be a Paul Heyman guy. And now that sets up for an absolute cinema for booking. I mean, they have so many directions that Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins can go in, of them savoring the WWE for the future of the company, not letting a guy like Roman Reigns, a dictator, somebody that's been on top for nearly 5 years in the company, compared to CM Punk, who left WWE high and dry and competed elsewhere and then came back because he was worried about making business moves for himself. The story writes itself. They have at least 5 to 6 months of automatic storylines that Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman could go in. Now, I still stand on, as I record this, Night 2 has not happened, but look out. We could possibly see a faction born, and it could be Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman joining possibly John Cena and The Rock, if Cena is successful for Night 2. So, this is going to be amazing. But overall, WrestleMania Night 1, I was actually upset about the production until the main event, or the co-main event and the main event, truthfully. Now, don't get me wrong, the matches of LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu and Jade Cargill versus Naomi were pretty good, but I don't know. It just felt like the flow of the night up into the co-main event and the main event just felt like a TV special and did not feel like WrestleMania. So I think Night 2, they're going to definitely hit it out of the park. But overall rating, I would have to give it a 6.5 out of 10 for Night 1. And this is I'm a diehard WWE fan. I'm just being honest, but I thought Night 1 would hit harder than this. And everybody knew that Night 2, the card was much better than Night 1 when they announced it last week. But I just feel like the final 2 matches carried hard for in terms of what a Mania match is supposed to feel like. So 6.5 out of 10. But those are my thoughts of WrestleMania Night 1. That is my WrestleMania 41 Night 1 summary.